So today we're going to see the advanced ruling in GST. It is applied by Castle Realtors from Rajasthan. The clause what they have doubted section 97 subsection 2 of CGST SGST Act 2017 classification of goods and the service or both and admissibility of input tax credit paid or deemed to be have been paid. This is the question. The questions what they ask is submission of application he has been submitted. So what they are who they the castle realtor is engaged in supplying of services of construction, erection, commissioning, installing, completion, fitting out, repairs, maintenance, renovation, alteration of affordable other than affordable residential apartment under the GST. Okay. Then applicant is supplying services of construction of affordable housing, non-affordable housing, and commercial apartments under the real estate project. In the name of Castle Realtors, the applicant filed the advance ruling. So, interpretation and understanding of applicant on question raised in brief that the applicant would like to get the advance ruling of the project Castle Realtor falls under the notification for 3 to 19 and notification 06 on the 2019. Notification CT reads state that a table again serial number 3 for the item 1 and the entry relating therefore column 3, 4, 5 following items entry shall be substituted namely that is the thing we have. So what is in construction of affordable residential apartment by a promoter in a real estate project other than RREP, which commences promoter refer to REP other than RREP commences on or after 1st April 2019 ongoing REP other than RREP, respect of which promoter has not excised option to pay central tax of construction for apartments on the rates and specified on the item below. On the case may be manner prescribed therein, intended to sale to a buyer wholly or partially, except the entire consideration has been received after the issuance of completion certificate, were acquired by the competent authority after first occupation, whichever is earlier. This is a provision. So that is 0.75%, 0.75% CGST, SGST. That is the thing they had. There is no input tax credit has been allowed. Construction of residential apartments other than affordable residence, that is 3.75%. But construction of complex, construction of building, construction of civil structure and part therefore including commercial, apartment, shop, offices, godowns by promoter in REP other than 9%, 9%, 18%. Residential apartment in ongoing project other than affordable residential apartment in respect of which promoter has exercised option to pay central tax on constructions or apartments or rate specified in the item in the manner prescribed therein, but excluding the supply by the may of service specified in 1 what A, 1B, 1C, 1D, and 1A above the intent to save a building, the wholly or partially except when the entire consideration has been received, other issuance of completion. After the issuance of completion certificate, which is required by the competent authority after this first occupation, whichever is earlier. The explanation for the removal of doubt here by classification at specified as a services specified at 1, 1A, 1B, 1C, 1D, 1E, column 3, central tax against them. So the term affordable residential apartments means a residential apartment in a project which commences on or after 1st April 2019 or in ongoing project in respect of the promoter has not exercised the option in the prescribed form to pay central tax on a construction of apartment the rate specified to item 1IE to 1IF against a serial number 3. In this case, have been carpet areas not exceeding 60 square meter in metropolitan city and 90 square meters in the cities or towns other than metropolitan cities or for which the gross amount charge is not more than 45 lakh rupees. So they are giving an explanation for the affordable residential apartment. The metropolitan area is Bangalore, Chennai, Delhi, limited to Delhi, Noida, Greater Noida, Kasabad, Kurgan, Faridabad, Hyderabad, Kolkata, Mumbai, whole of Mumbai MMR, with the respective geological limit prescribed by the order issued by the central government regard. Then, so affordable housing for which affordable housing, now what is affordable housing? That classifying the based on the location. So first it's a residential apartment first. So that should have to start after 2019. So now, present now. Same thing, the respect to which promoter has not exercised option in the prescribed form to pay central tax on the construction of apartment, the rate specified in I to IE. Again, the serial number 3. In the case of carpet area, how much the carpet area can be? 60 square meter in metropolitan and 90 square meter in other metropolitan area. So it's limited to, for its total amount, gross amount limited to 45 lakh rupees. On 45 lakhs rupees, we can carpet area 60 square meter, 20 to 30 meters, 90 square meters in the city towns. This is only affordable housing in India. So you will read that concepts. Okay. The construction of affordable residential apartment 0.75 and construction of residential apartment other than affordable housing 3.75, 3.75, 3.75, 7.2, 1.5. So 7.5 percentage. So column 5, provided that the central tax at the rate specified in the column 4 shall be paid in cash, that is debiting the electronic cash ledger only. You can't use the electronic credit ledger, only cash ledger, provided also that the credit of input tax charge on the goods and service used in supplying the service has not been taken except the extent as prescribed in the Annexure 1. The case of REP other than RREP in the annexure. REP, what is REP? What is RREP? Residential REP, real estate project as REP. And provided that the registered person shall pay by credit in the electronic cash ledger, not electronic. Provided also registered person shall pay by debit in the electronic credit ledger or electronic cash ledger amount equivalent to input tax credit attributable to the construction project time of supply of which is not on after to the April 2019, which shall be calculated in the manner as prescribed in the annexure 1. In the case of resident REP, what REP is real estate project other than RREP. Annexure 2 in the case of RREP, provided that a registered person, landowner, promoter who transfer the development rights to FSI, including additional FSI to the promoter, developer, promoter against the construction, consideration wholly or partly in the form of construction of apartment. Developer promoter shall pay a tax on the supply of construction of the apartment to the landowner and promoter. The developer and promoter shall pay tax on the supply of construction on apartments to the landowner promoter. Such a landowner promoter shall eligible to credit of tax charged by him by the developer promoter towards supply of construction of the apartment by developer promoter to him. Provide the landowner promoter further supply such apartment to the buyers before issuance of completion certificate or the first occupancy, whichever was earlier, pay tax the same, which is not less than the amount tax charged from him in a construction of such apartment by the development promoter. Explanation. A development promoter is a promoter who constructs or converts a building into apartment or developed a plot for sale. Landowner promoter is a promoter who transfers the land or development rights or FSI to the development promoter for construction of apartments and receives construction apartment against such transfer receives a constructed apartments against such transferred rights and sells such apartment to the buyers independently, provided also that 80 percentage of the value of input and 80 percentage of value of input services other than service by way of grant of development rights, long-term lease of the lands. Against the upfront payment from the premium, salami or development charges, etc., from FSA, including additional FSA, electricity, high-speed diesel, motor, spirit, natural gas used in supplying the services or shall be received from the registered supplier only. Only registered supply can provide this. Provided also that the input and input services on which tax is paid on the reverse charge basis shall be deemed to have been purchased from the registered person. Provider also that where the value of input and value of input services received from the registered supplier during the financial year, a part of financial year till the date of issuance of completion certificate or first occupancy of project, whichever is earlier. The fall short in the said threshold of 80% tax shall be paid by the promoter on the value of input services comprising such shortfall at the rate of 18% in a reverse charge basis on the provision of Central Government Service Tax Act to Central Goods and Service Tax Act 2017. 12 of 2017 shall apply to him if he is the person liable to pay tax and related to the supply of such goods and service or both. Provided also that which notwithstanding anything contained in therein above, where cement is received from unregistered person, the promoter shall pay tax on the supply of such cement on applicable rate on the reverse charge basis, and all the provision of the central goods and central goods and service tax 2017 shall apply to him as if he is able to pay tax in the related to such supply of cement. Please refer to the illustration 3 explanation. The promoter shall maintain the project-wise account, inward supply from registered and registered supplier, and calculate tax payments on the shortfall at the end of the financial year, and shall submit the same in the prescribed forms and electronically on the common portal by end of the quarter following the financial year. The tax liability on the shortfall of inward supply from unregistered person so determined shall be added to the output tax liability in the month law not later than the month of June be following or the end of the following year. Notwithstanding anything contained in the explanation 1 about tax on cement received from unregistered person shall be paid in the month in which cement is received. Input tax credit is not available shall be reported every month in the reporting of the same ineligible credit GST 3B. So what does a promoter ask? What defines a promoter as? A person who construct or a cause to be constructed an independent building or a building consists of apartments and converts an existing building or a part therefore into an apartment for the purpose of selling all same of the apartments to other person and includes his assignees. A person who develop a land into a project. Whether or not the person also constructs structures on any of the plots for the purpose of selling or other persons, all some of the plots in the said project, whether with or without structure therein, that also define promoter. Any development authority or any other public body in respect of allottees of building, apartments, as the case may be, constructed by such authorities or constructed by any body on the land owned by him or placed at the disposal by the government. Plots owned by such authority or body are placed at their disposal by the government for the purpose of selling on or a same of the apartments or plots. The Apex state level cooperative housing finance society and the primary cooperative housing society which constructs apartments or which construct the buildings for its members or the respect of the allottees for such apartments and buildings. They also comes under promoters. Any other person who act on himself as a builder and colonizer or a constructor or a developer or a real estate developer by any such name or a claim to be acting as the holder of the power of attorney from the owner of the land on which a building or apartment is constructed or the plot is developed for resale. Such other person who constructed for by building or the apartment for sale to the general public explanation. For the purpose of this clause, where the person who construct or converts a building into apartment or develop a plot for sale, and the person who sells the apartment or a plot a different person. Both of them shall be deemed to be a promoter and shall be jointly liable as such of the function and responsibility specified under the Act and the rules and regulation therefore. The term real estate project shall have the same meaning as assigned to it In the clause Z10 of the Section 2 of Real Estate Regulation and Development Act 2016, 16 of 2016. Development of a building or a building consists of apartment, converting an existing building or a part of thereof into apartment. A development of a land including plot and apartment as the case may be for the purpose of selling all or selling all or same of the said apartment of plots or building as the case may be. And also include common areas of development workings, all improvement and structure their own and shall assessment rights and appurtenances belonging to them. Appurtenances belonging thereto. The term residential real estate project (RREP) shall means an real estate project in which carpet area of the commercial apartments are not more than 15% of the total carpet area of the RAP. The carpet area is explanation for 26 of notification 3 2019. Abhi, the definition would be per 2K of RERR, which defines the term carpet areas. A term usually floor area of apartment excluding the area covered in external walls, area which is service shaft excluding balcony and veranda area excluding open terrace area, but so under covers by the external walls under the service shaft excludes balcony, excludes veranda area, excludes open terrace area, but it includes the area covered by the internal partition walls of the apartment. Explanation for the purpose of this clause, the expressing excludes balcony or veranda means the area of a balcony or area of the veranda, as the case may be, with an apportionment to the net usage floor area of the apartment means excluding use of allotee and exclusive open terrace area means the area of open terrace which is a, a pure tenant of the net usable floor area of the apartment. Measure the exclusive of the apartment. Scope. The applicant falls under the definition of real estate project because it has a carpet area of commercial apartments more than 15% out of the total carpet area of the project. That is suffice our explanation that commercial apartments areas are more than 15%. The total carpet area is hereby attracting approval map from the Ajmer Development Authority, which is available to verify. Applicant views on the questions raised. GST rate on supply of affordable and non-affordable apartments under the REP, residential REP. For affordable residential apartment, the applicant falls under the heading serial ICF notification 0/2016, a central tax which state that the construction of affordable residential apartment with a promoter in REP other than RREP. RREP is what? Real estate project is, and RREP is residential real estate project. GST at 1.5%, less 1.3 value of the land as per the notification. Percentage less than one third value of the land as per the notification 11 to 17 June, which equivalent to GST 1% on transaction value. For non-affordable residential apartment, the applicant falls under the heading serial ID notification 3 2019. The central states the construction of a real estate apartment other than affordable residential apartment by a promoter in REP other than RREP GST is 7.5% less one third of the value of the land as per the notification. It's equivalent to 5% on the transaction value. A supply of affordable housing and non-affordable housing under REP together. The notification heading IC and ID did not specify the promoter can only supply affordable residential apartment or residential apartment because it is bifurcated apartment by area of apartment by means of single floor or a single wing of a affordable residential apartment. A residential apartment both conjunction to the supply. The only thing is specified in the differential between GST rate between the REP and size of apartment. GST rate on supply of construction of complex construction of building, construction of civil structure, a part of therefore including commercial apartments, shops, office, gudowns, etc. by the promoter in the residential REP. RIP real estate project. And residential real estate project. The application constructing a commercial apartment like shop, halls, office, gudowns, etc. The resident real estate project other than residential real estate project which is approved under the RERA Act. The applicant shall fall under the heading IF of the notification 3 2019. The commercial apartment of GST rate is 18% less one third of the value of land as per the notification of the CT of 18th June in the equivalent to GST 12 percentage of the transaction value. Eligibility of input tax credit which will be used in the course of business for the furtherance of business for construction of commercial apartments in a real estate. Section 17(5)(d) the states the goods and service both received by the taxable person for the construction of immovable property other than the plant and machinery on its own account include when such goods and service or both are used in the course or furtherance of business. Explanation. For the purpose of the clause C and D, the expression construction include reconstruction, renovation, addition and alteration and repair to the extent of capitalization to the said immovable property. Explanation. For the purpose of the chapter 6 expressing the plant and machinery means upon apparatus, equipments, machinery fixed to earth by foundation or by structural support that are used for making the outward supply of goods, outward supply of service, or both, and includes such foundation and structural support but excludes land, building, any other civil construction, exclude telecommunication tower, excludes pipelines laid outside the factory premises. Summary of eligible ITC as per the provision of 17(5)(c) and D in the following table. Type of property, construction of treatment in the books, ITC eligibility, immovable property other than plant and machinery, treatment in the books to be capitalized, ITC ineligible. Movable type of property, movable property, construction of plant and machinery, otherwise, treatment of books can be capitalized completely or can be considered revenue expenditure, ITC eligible. Type of property, movable and immovable property, construction, plant and machinery, treatment can be capitalized completely or can be considered revenue and eligible as ITC eligible. Type of property, movable, immovable property, construction of plant and machine otherwise should be completely treated as revenue, not be capitalized, and it's eligible, completely eligible for ITC. ITC for the activities of repairs or reconstruction, renovation, alteration, etc. The concept of construction has been widened to include the activities of reconstruction, renovation, addition, and alteration of repairs. The term construction generally refers to the act of making or act of creating of immovable property for the first time. On the other hand, the activities of repair, renovation, alteration would have involved carrying on the works on existing immovable property. It must be noted that generally the process steps which is done during the construction are repeated during the period. For example, the wall plastered will be done for the first time during the construction of the applying cement mixture. When such wall plaster need repair, then similar processes applying wall plaster will be done by undertaking the repair. Even though So further in terms of explanation, 17(5) ITC is not allowed in the case of construction, renovation, addition, alteration, reparation for immovable property. So ITC not allowed. So that extent to be capitalized. Hence, it is impartial to understand the term capitalized. The meaning of the term capitalized. As per section 17(5) of the CGST, one of the precondition of the denial of ITC was activity of repair, renovation, activity of alteration, activity of reconstruction, etc. It is such expense would have been capitalized in the books of account. If the expense is part of the revenue account, such activities, then the ITC the same cannot be denied under the section 17(5)(d) of CGST. The question as to what is to be treated as capitalized has been answered through the defined inputs and capital outputs covered under section 2 class 59 and 2 class 19 of the CGST Act respectively. The definition has been reported there. Section 2 class 59. The input means goods other than capital goods used in the intended to be used by the supplier in the course of other business. Okay. Capital goods mean goods at the value of capitalized in the books of accounts of the person claiming the input tax credit, which is used and intended to be used in the course and furtherance of business. For this above, they said that capital goods refer to the goods which have been capitalized in the books of accounts of the relevant person. To forfeit the stand of the capitalization refer to the treatment as per the books of accounts itself the same as being clarified in the para 69 of the circular 125 44 and 2019 of CGST dated 18th November 2019. It has been presented that a certain occasion department officer do not consider ITC on stores, ITC on spares, packing materials, and material purchase for machinery based printing and stationery item as per the ITC on the ground that there is no directly consumed in the manufacturing process and therefore that do not qualify as input. There are also instances where stores and spares charged to revenue are considered as capital goods and therefore the ITC availed on them is not included in the ITC even though value of these goods has been capitalized in the books of account by the applicant. It is clarified that the ITC of GST paid on input and including inward supply of stores and spares and packing material etc. shall be available such ITC as long as the input has been used for the purpose of business and for the affecting taxable supplies, including zero rated supplies and ITC for the input is not restricted under the section 175 of CGST Act. And further, the capital goods has been clearly defined and section 2 class 19 of CGST Act as a goods of value has been capitalized in the books of accounts, which is used by intended to be used in the course of furtherance of business. Stores and spares expenditure which is being changed as a revenue expenditure in the books of account cannot be held as capital goods. The particular circular provided clear in reference that if any item has not been capitalized in the books of account, then the same cannot be capitalized, capital goods, and the ITC cannot be restricted in Section 17(5) of CGST Act. Hence, it is important to determine the treatment of invoices pertaining to repairs, innovations, alteration, etc. The books of accounts for determination whether it has been capitalized or not. Applicant would like to explain the promoter with an supply commercial apartments. The commercial apartments will be supplied to recipients. Therefore, the input service used in the course of business for construction of commercial apartments, which will not be capitalized in the books of account, will be eligible as section 16(1), 16(2) of CGST Act. Furthermore, the applicant should like to state that plant and machinery apparatus, equipments, and machinery which is like to be used in the commercial apartments, just lift, a generator, solar panels, electric poles, and is eligible for exception in Section 17(5) of CGST 2015. Furthermore, the plant and machinery mentioned will not be capitalized in the books of account. So, in mind mineral systems and solutions order is a case WBA are decided before the authority of advanced ruling under the CGST West Bengal. Input tax credit construction of warehouse, capitalized immovable property, warehouse was constructed and leased on rent. Petitioner contended that the construction was not on his own account as a warehouse was used for different persons, then the ITC of the supplied for the construction would be available. Petitioner contended that the warehouse was constructed by use of pre-engineered steel structure, which you should be easily dismantled and re-erected and another site and re-erected in another site, and hence could not be determined as immovable property. Held 17(5)(d) denies ITC respect to inward supply received to construct a immovable property for own use by taxable person. The warehouse was constructed by the applicant and same was accounted for in the books of accounts and ownership was retained by the applicant. The construction was on his own account in the case warehouse construction involves cement, marble, pavable block, etc. Hence, the warehouse could not be moved after the construction without damage. ITC of GST charge and inward supply of goods and service related to the construction of warehouse which is capitalized in the books of accounts as not available. So the ITC would be available if the expenses were not capitalized. Section 17 of Central Goods and Service Tax, West Bengal. The above judgment, Honorable High Court clarified specifically ITC is available for construction if expenses not capitalized in the books of account. And that we also hereby declare all the expenses which we will incur of construction of commercial apartments will be treated as a revenue expenditure and financial statement. The applicant should be eligible for input tax credit and input service and capital goods, which will be used for supply of commercial apartments in a real estate project other than the residential real estate project. For in the course of business or furtherance of business, GST's rate of supply of construction of commercial apartments 12% without any consideration eligible for ITC for that rate as per the notification. Without any conditions for eligible for ITC for the rate of notification. Question on which advance ruling is sought. whether the following service provided by the supplier fall under the notification 3 2019. The GST rate on supply of affordable, non-affordable apartment under the real estate project, supply of affordable residential apartment and residential apartment under the real estate project conjointly, and the GST rate on supply of construction of some complex building, civil structures or a part therefore include commercial apartments, shops, offices, goods, etc. for by the promoter of the real estate project other than residential real estate project. Eligible ITC credit which will be used in the course of others of business on construction commercial apartments and real estate project. Personal hearing. In this matter, the personal hearing was granted to the applicant and advocate Kamal Bhatt who appear in the personal hearing reinstated that submission already made by them. Comments for the judicial officer. Comments received. The GST rate on supply of affordable and non-affordable apartments under residential REP. Residential real estate project, supply of affordable residence apartment and real estate apartments under the real estate co-jointly. GST rates on supply of construction of complex building civil structures apart, therefore including commercial apartments and shop, office, goods, etc. by the promoter and REP, other REP, eligible for input tax credit, which will be used in the course and furtherance of business on the construction and commercial project and the real estate project. Okay. The finding, analysis, conclusion. Hmm. 3.75%. So that the rate was had been said that was available.